my app crashed. So YouTube really loves their platform. Yeah, I'm not totally sure what happened. The app crashed and I completely lost service on my phone. But we just sent Travis back to the bin. He did not empty out the grain cart, so it's going to come to a point where the cart's full and I'm just going to have to drive back to the buildings with it and unload as fast as he can unload at the auger. So I'll just keep this going, keep answering questions. Trying to catch up to Dad right now. So, I was answering a question when the app crashed. How much, like, what's my favorite generation, new versus old? And as I was saying before, the 40 series, like this tractor, is about as old as I'd like to go. The 4020 is a great tractor, don't get me wrong, but they didn't have the sound guard tech on them yet, so unless you're wearing headgear to save your hearing, don't really care for that too much. I mean, I have noise canceling earbuds, so for me it'll work great. I've actually thought about buying another 4020 just for myself to keep out at my place for like feeding in the winter and stuff. But I don't know. I think a 40 series is probably as old as I'd like to go. I do really like the new tractors too. It's just I don't really care for having to run DEF in this equipment. Even in my truck, I don't really care for that much at all. For the beans, above average this year, I would say in the grand scheme they were. One of my fields had issues. If you guys might even remember in one of my videos, I went out and saw a field that had damage from the sprayer. Well, when we planted that field, we also had some issues. It had started to rain, so it started getting tough, and overall the average at that field just wasn't very good, like at all. That particular field actually averaged 42 bushels to the acre, and for beans I like to see at least 55. My other field of beans, of just my own, I need to focus for a second. I've always said unloading on the go with these large grain carts really isn't that impressive. Throw a 150 bushel cart on and try unloading on the go that way like we used to do when we were younger. To me, that's more impressive. 82 instead of the 46 because the 46 is a better fit for this grain cart than the 82 is. As long as we're not on any big hills, the 46 can handle it just fine. I think it's a better fit. A lot of the times in the past where we've used the 82 on this, one of the farms that we used to have that we let go of, it was like on a ridge top, and you had to go down a steep field road just to get out to down to the truck. So the 82 is a lot better in that situation. Hey Luke, how's it going? I get asked a lot. Man, this thing is just shaky today. I'm leaving the auger out because there's no sense in putting it down and putting it up, especially for how fast Travis is coming back and forth. If I go into the buildings to unload, I'll put it down, but I'm leaving it up because it takes too long to extend it out when I need it. This is not feed corn. Do you have radios at all to communicate? We tried doing the radio thing. I think we should kind of go back to it. But the big hassle with the radios is making sure that they're all charged. It seems like that was always the biggest battle with them. I'd like to get on CBs because then the combine could talk to the truck and vice versa. But I mean, the radios work just fine too. Just have one in the truck. The semi is a 96, and it has a Cummins M11 that has not been overhauled. It's got 1.3 million miles on the truck, so does it need an overhaul? Yes, probably, but it's doing just fine. I do not miss the 9510, like at all. Is there a reason why the grain carts and trailers are not equipped with air brakes? Air brakes are more popular in Europe versus the US. Can't really explain to you why they're not. I mean, a lot of situations I think that it would be nice to have air brakes on some of this equipment for going down the road. But you see more of that over in Europe. You're gonna purchase another tractor anytime soon. Right now, my line of thinking for me buying a tractor is I might do it when I'm done with the mulcher, spin around and sell that, and then it's like kind of like my investment fund. I'm throwing money at it, and long term, buy a tractor somewhere down the road. Oh, he missed a row of corn, so he's going back for it. What do you think about a 6430 with a loader or without one? I was actually looking at a 6430 for a while there with a loader. I wouldn't mind a chore tractor with a loader again, but after some careful thinking, it's like, well, if you're spending $60,000-$70,000 on a decent tractor, you might as well, move up to a 7000 series. $49.60. I would really like a $49.60, but I don't know if that'll be the tractor that I buy, mostly because it's too large to fit in my shed out there, and I'd really like a tractor out there that I can use throughout the winter for like feeding and stuff, which is why I was looking at a 4020, which if I saw a good one out there, I mean, I'd be hard pressed not to invest in one. Hey Jordan, harvest is going good so far. Yields are good, moisture's good. Wow, you're live. Out in the field and everything, no questions, but it's just fun to watch. Yeah, it's a lot harder than you think having to hold the live stream because trying to balance everything that we're doing, especially with like the smaller cart. Like I was saying, a larger cart right now would be very nice because you'd be a little bit less pressed for trying to manage all the grain. Smaller cart, more unloads, more frequently. Would you ever consider getting an Alice Chalmers 8000 series? Probably not. How's parts support on those? Have you found a replacement for Big Red yet? No. As far as Big Red goes, I might just run it until she quits. But I'd like to go out and buy another truck. I've been looking at another truck, not a new truck, for the last year or two now. We're right on the edge of where I feel like it would be good to get one. If we continue picking up more acres, I definitely see myself going out and buying another truck. I really think that would really help speed up harvest, because even with beans, you can see how it's going to be a hiccup getting the grain away from the field once we start with corn. For beans, it worked good because I was hauling out to Warren. Beans takes longer to get loads, plus we had constant breakdowns with the head and issues, so it worked pretty well to haul out to Warren for that lower basis. Good night, Billy. How big would you have to be to put a dryer in? I don't know. We've talked about putting a dryer in out there, but the setup right now that we have works. Drying in the first bin, sending it over to the second one, and then refilling the first bin again. I feel like that works really well for our current setup. We'd probably have to put in another bin or two before we consider putting in a dedicated dryer. What time is it here? It's a good question. I think it's like 4 o'clock. Harvest beard's coming along pretty good. This is like peak harvest beard right here. Here comes Travis again. Get bad out of hell. You guys can, you probably can't see him. You will. I couldn't imagine going back to what we were doing before I bought this grain cart. Still hauling around all the grain wagons and the 40-20 and the auger out to the field, filling everything up, waiting for a truck to show up. Ugh. Gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Any of your beans being put in a bin, or are they going all down to the river? All of the beans that we've harvested went down either to the river or out to Warren on rail cars, because they're having issues with the river right now. South of Missouri, I guess the river level is extremely low, and that prevents them from filling the barges full, so they haul less. Have to send more barges, higher freight, more expenses. We are currently harvesting corn. Weather's turning bad tomorrow, but lots of corn not dry enough here in Northeast Ohio. Farmers are annoyed. Now the weather's been very cooperative. We got some rain last Wednesday, and that put us out of harvesting beans for a couple days there. But it was a nice little break. I mean, we ran 8 or 9 days straight, and then we finished up beans yesterday, so. The river was closed, so I hauled everything yesterday and the day before down to Hazel Green. We gotta keep a close eye on it, because Travis has a camera in the grain wagon, but I'm the guy who has to shut off the grain. And it's good. What size PTO does the 46 have? A large 1000. Close her down just a little bit. There we go. It's right over the hill here. Are we gonna dress up for Halloween? I think Hannah bought me something last year, but never really had an opportunity to use it. Usually we're harvesting on Halloween, so unless I dress up for a video or something, probably won't be dressing up. I'm up to 70 head of cattle myself. Holy cow, I am windburned. Whew. I believe it, because the wind is blowing like crazy today. Moisture is running 19. It's going into the drying bin, so 19 is actually the lowest that the corn has been coming off this farm in quite some time. But typically other years, you know, we'll start with corn and then move over to beans. We didn't even hook the head up for harvesting any corn. We just went straight to beans, finished it, and now we're moving on to corn. So I really feel like we're ahead of the game this year. I'm hoping that we can finish harvesting relatively quick. A big part of that was being able to harvest this farm as fast as possible. And for how fast we're knocking this out, I mean, I feel like it's gonna go by pretty quick. Any thoughts on fertilizer prices for next season? They say that they're just as high as last year, which is not good. How many hours are on the 46? The tax reading 5,787, and apparently that's gone over once, so the 46 should have about 15,000 hours on it. You wouldn't think it just by looking at the tractor. I mean, I feel like whoever had it before us took really good care of it, and we did a lot of work to it when we got it to kind of clean it up and get it usable for our farm, I guess you could call it. I don't know. We went through and we repainted some parts of it, just to, you know, touch it up and make it look better. So I'm just kind of camping out here because I feel like Dad's going to be coming back around the river bend. How many acres do you think you've recovered from cleaning up the pastures? I'm probably at 5 right now. I haven't had a lot of time to go out and mulch. That's been the big joke. The most time where I've actually had to go out and mulch so far in one sitting, I think it was Friday, or maybe it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday. I went out at 9 and I mulched until I think it was like 5 or 6. No. It was it Thursday? I don't know. But I basically went from 9 to 5, and I probably cleared out a good 5 acres. Probably a good 5 acres there. I did most of that work that one day, but before that last day where I had done any mulching, I had only been able to go out and mulch for like an hour and a half at a time. I just didn't have any time to do it. I tried to do it when I got home, wouldn't have enough time. I would either have to edit a video, or the days where I did have time, the sun would go down by the time I got home within an hour. So how many cows you got to calf? Right now I'm sitting at 44 cows, 15 heifer yearlings, and I'm sitting at another 7 heifer calves so far that I know of. I haven't actually gone through and counted them. That's just what my total numbers are sitting at. Total, I have 70. That's up pretty significantly from like 2 years ago. I'm up from like 35, so I'm doing pretty good. I had the issue with the bull not breeding my cows. I have 2 bulls. I'm gonna need a third for how many I'm sitting at, so I'm probably gonna go next spring and buy yet another one. Dad must be happy not to have any corn on the ground this year. Oh yeah, we're all happy. We're all a little anxious because we had a big windstorm come through the other day, and even I was watching the corn going, oh, I hope this isn't causing any of it to go down. As far as I can tell, it hasn't, but it was really blowing last week. I think it was the cold front coming through because it's been nonstop freezing and sweater weather since. So, greetings from Argentina. I love the nature and relief of your fields. Love that 4640. Thanks for saying hi. Big Red is a soda, not a drug. I have one of your sweatshirts with your signature on it. Cool. Are you guys ahead of schedule? I think so. I feel like we're doing really good. Big Red's just been having a lot of sensor issues. And right now it's running good. I had what was the first issue I had with it? I think I had a water leak, which is one of the hoses are bad. I just clamped it down and it stopped leaking for the time being, but looking at it, you can tell that it needs to be changed. So I went and picked up another hose, so I've got it in the truck for, you know, if it does blow. That map sensor also went out, and that caused a lot of problems for a few days. How's it going, Wes? Do you want to increase the size of your cattle herd? I actually do, but my big issue right now is probably capacity. I feel like I'm probably pushing the capacity until I have to start feeding them year-round. Right now, I feel like the pastures are at about what they can take for feed. So they say here that you can put, I think it's like 1.5 acres per cow. So just out of my place, I think I've got like 120 acres worth of pasture. So I'm right there, I think. Later, Pat. Oh, man. He's getting turned around. When I was in there, the corn was yielding 220, 230. It was actually 240, but when I was riding in it, it was saying 230. So we're going to go ahead and say that it's yielding less than what it was when I was in there. Why do you guys sometimes combine beans at an angle? I think it kind of comes down to preference, but we typically don't combine at an angle. Miss some. Some guys do it depending on the type and lay of the field. They'll do it crossways. If you have a large square field, you know, I can see why you would go crossways. The reason some guys do it is because of wear on the head. They think that by going crossways, it kind of gives all the knives in the front even wear. But typically we'll go just continuous right down with the row, and that's because a lot of what we do is contoured or strip farmed, which is what this farm is. A lot of people ask us that all the time, you know, why do you guys farm in strips? And it's contours. they were smaller back when we were still dairy farming. They were actually about half width. We doubled them up, and I think with the new combine, we're gonna probably consolidate a lot of these strips this year. Hopefully that helped with the clarity. But even, especially with the beans, we had to knock out quite a few corn plants just to get out to the bean strips. I wonder if he can make it back down to me or not. Hey, Steve. It's not go time until he puts the auger out. Have you guys had any problems with the combine? No issues with the combine, actually. They've all been with the head. Now that we're done with beans, though, I know it could go much faster, but I guess you go slower because of the topography of the land that affects how evenly the grain flows over the sieves. This combine has adjustable, tilting, self-leveling sieves, which is supposed to help with that in the combine. Goes by somebody with a baler. Are you planning on cutting trees to make better use of the area in the pasture? If I can get out of having to straight up cut down trees, you know, I will. I really don't want to have to cut down trees, but if I can take down everything that the mulcher can handle, I feel like that's going to open up as much as I want to open it up. You know, I'm not exactly looking to totally take out the trees. I'm just looking to clean out the area underneath them. Turns out he did make it over here. What are we doing here? We've got the benefit of time. Here comes Travis. When are we going to start tillage? Really probably once we have some slow days, which could be coming up here at the end of the month. A lot of our corn we're going to have to sell. He actually backed up and is dumping into Travis. A lot of the corn that we're doing right now is going into the bin. We're not going to be selling probably any corn until November, mostly because of basis. As I've talked in my previous videos, basis is atrocious right now. For corn, it's better than it was for beans. For corn, it's 70 cents in Dubuque, and I think it's 29 out in Warren. But the problem is I don't have the time to run out to Warren with the corn because it yields so much better, so much higher, that you don't have the time to run out there and back. So I'll have to be taking it probably to Dubuque. I think the price difference between October right now and November, October is at 70 cents in Dubuque and November is at 40 the last time I checked. Oh, thanks, Brian. You don't have to do that. All you got to do is watch. Oh, you guys don't have to pay me anything. You can donate if you want to, but you know, I'm never going to tell you to just straight up give YouTube any money. What's corn price right now? I don't know what futures are doing, honestly, but depending on what basis is, cash price is anywhere between $6.40 and $6.70, and that's going to vary, you know. Travis is probably going to come to me to top off and then blast back off to the bin. What do you use to watch prices of crops? We have Gavilon, which is just the elevator that we take our stuff to most of the time. So we just go off their app. We just follow them and see what futures prices are doing. And there's also the app Grain Straight, which helps tell you what prices are doing across different places. Really helps monitor basis. All right, I gotta focus for a couple minutes. I love how my phone always focuses on the dust on the window and not actually what's on the other side of it. Like I said, I gotta focus for a hot second here. Gotta tell you what though, it's so much easier doing this with the... I spilled some. It's a lot easier doing with the 46 or 82 than it is the 46. That's part of the reason why we're leaving the auger up. He's like a dog. He just took a quick poop out in the field and he's burying it. He's looking for any shells of corn that are left behind. Sun's coming out. Ugh, dusty. I'm gonna pretend I didn't laugh at that, Pete. What happened to the grain cart on the 76? We unhooked it in the shed. The gearbox is torn out of it. Part of the reason why I don't live stream a lot is because when you're doing stuff like this, especially like unloading, I need to put the phone up in the holder next time so I have use of both my hands. But this strip is done. So I don't know which strip he's probably going to go up to next. Probably that one behind him. I was kind of hoping that he'd open up the big patch over there because I do have the mulcher here. I replaced the teeth that are chipped on it. You can see it up there by the house. Let's follow him, shall we? Any plans to build a shop? We've talked about it. We've talked about putting a shop out beyond the machine shed on this side. Where I always pictured a shop being is right where the barn is, but the problem is we still use the barn mostly for storage. Honk the horn. Say, I know there is a horn button in this tractor. Can't even hear it. Can the 76 handle 2 carts? Didn't you guys have 2 carts at one point? We do have 2 carts. The green cart has the bottom gearbox ripped out of it because it started, the bearing went out. That's the word I'm looking for. The bearing went out on that gearbox, so it started causing some rattling. To save ourselves any issues with trying to work on that when there's a load of grain in it, we said nope, no more. And we just got the replacement gearbox in, so get some free time, that'll be going back in. Ever thought about putting bigger front tires on the 4640? Not really. I feel like they're pretty normal tractor tire size. Bigger tires means more money. Has the combine brakes been sticking? No, they've not. So they broke them loose one morning when I took the truck down out to Warren, I think, is when they worked on it. And they took the drum off, and it was sticking. They loosened it up. I guess it was really gummed up or something, and haven't had any issues with it since. The 9510 did that all the time too. It's nothing new. What are the hours on the combine? Totally spitballing here, but I think one of the numbers is 1700. I'm not totally sure if that's the combine hours or if it's the separator hours. I don't remember. Okay. Guess we're a little bit closer back to the buildings now. Thanks, John Deere, man. Combine is running really good. Would it be beneficial to store the entire crop in grain bins and sell it later? If you have that option, yes. Oh! Threw my phone across the tractor. If you had that option, yes. I think we could use some more on-farm storage. I think Travis and I both could use some storage. I know for me, if I had the option to build as much storage as I wanted, I still probably wouldn't be able to keep it all just because I want to get some of my loans paid off. So, yeah, I mean, it's kind of a hard question because it really just depends. It's a good question, actually. So whenever we pick up more ground, we have to go and redo our credit lines at the banks. So we need a larger credit line, and if we don't have it pretty much paid off, we're going to have issues getting a larger credit line. It would be nice to be able to store all of our grain and then sell it in the off season. I'd love to do that, but being is that we're still picking up acres, I don't think my lender would like that very much if I didn't have all of my credit line paid off by the time I went to go renew it, I guess you could say. So would I save everything? Probably not, but would I if I could or if I could figure out a way around that? Yeah. Because I don't know what basis price is for next year, but I know it's not $1.50 like it is in Dubuque right now. How late will you guys normally run, weather conditions permitting? This farm is actually unique because we are hauling into the bins, so we can run as late as we really choose. The thing is, we really don't have to because we're not pressed for time. October, we've pretty much been running straight through. You know, the weather's been really cooperative. We got all of the beans done. That's a huge thing. And now the last thing that's really pressing to get done is to fill the bins before November rolls around, because once November comes, we'll get our November contracts for the basis. Yeah, it's good. And then it comes down to crunch time to getting everything in. So Usually it's just kind of a second wind for harvest when November rolls around. It's a whole new, okay, we got to do this, and the rest of this yet. Oh! Here he is. Found him. So you actually can do double crops here. I've seen guys do it, but we probably can't get away doing double crops in the corn and beans. If we were raising feed for the cows, like the neighbors do, I'll use them as an example. They fascinate me with all the things that they do over there. What they'll do is they'll go through and plant winter wheat, harvest that, and I think it was June or July this year they went through and harvested that off. Can't really remember. I think it was late June. Then they went through and planted corn. So the corn had the rest of the season to grow up. It's more than likely absolutely immature. So they went through and chopped that for silage as well. So that's a way that you can get away with double cropping around here. It requires a longer growing season than we're allowed. Since we plant corn and beans April, May, harvest them October, November, the ground freezes in October, or at least we get freezing weather in October, so there's no time to grow anything else. If you were to do cover crops, if you were to air seed those, then yes, but that's mostly just like tillage radish and whatnot, just for a cover crop. He's going the other way now, so I'd have to spin around and keep my eyes on him because I do tend to be a little bit long-winded. So the combine needs a bicycle flag. I do want to get a flag to put on the end of that auger. I think that'd be really cool. Big Red has a Cummins M11. What are the yields? Last I checked, it was 220, 230. I haven't asked again. Now I gotta spin around. Would you get another JCB? Dude, I would love another JCB. I've actually thought about buying another skid steer just to keep the hours off the teleskid. Travis asked me, he's like, how many hours does that have on it? It's like 1,300 is what it's up to. And when we got it, it was like 450. So we put all those hours on since 2019. It's quite a few hours. But I use that thing every freaking day. So it's not really to be unexpected, I guess. If you were not a farmer, what would your job be? When I graduated college, I thought about going into agronomy, ag sales, selling seed, fertilizer. I don't think I could really do cold calls much at all. I don't really care for it. Even like public speaking just gives me the heebie-jeebies. Here I'm talking to myself, so it's not really anything to worry about. It's when people can actually talk back, it's like, huh? No, I don't know. I've done public speaking before, but it's not really something I care for. Just starting to see the grain pop up over the top there. Just answered this a little bit ago. Might have been in the last video actually. 46 has 15,000 hours on it, apparently. The motor in this was rebuilt before we got it, and she runs strong. Have you had mud issues with the tires in the combine? No, actually. But it's always really dry whenever we're out harvesting. Are those gathering storm clouds? I don't think so. I think it's clearing, actually. It's been looking like this all day, but now the sun's starting to peek through. Guess I could slow the motor down, huh? How do you like that STS combine? Really like it. I was telling Dad, it's like, this combine really does kick ass. It is very nice. It's amazing. You can definitely see the difference in like how much we can get harvested in a day. I mean, shoot, we started doing this at what, 2 or 3 o'clock? We already got that strip done. I better get arranged. Dad's in the combine. Travis is in the 76 with the grain wagon. He's hauling back to the bin. Can you run bigger headers on the combine? Bigger than this, I'm not totally sure of. Could we possibly go up to 16? I think this combine could probably handle a 16, but I don't think it could handle a 24. I could be totally wrong there, though. I mean, I don't know. All right, second. I hate leaving the auger up like this, but I feel like for how often Travis is coming back and forth that there's really no use in putting it down. There's no obstacles out here. It's just, you got to be extremely mindful of hitting augers with the combine. All right, you guys are going up here. All right. Why are we going so slow? I know I have to focus when I do this, but this is nothing compared to those smaller easy trail grain wagons we used to have to do this with. That was some next level stuff. Here comes Travis. Now we're getting up to speed. Feels a little bit better now. This is a really nice straight stretch. Right next door there's the old Kuster farm. That's going to solar panels. They got silt fence up. And when they came and talked to us about doing the whole solar thing, they told us absolutely no bulldozing. We're going to come in here and pound posts into the ground. And seeing from what they're doing over by the substation, I assume panels are going somewhere in there, but I just can't believe how much they've tore up. We're off to the races. Oh, don't like that. What did I do? Sorry, girl. Hey, Troy. All right, once again, gotta focus, so apologies. You guys are once again getting the phone holder treatment. There we go. we're unloading with this grain cart, I like to keep it around 1200. I feel like that's optimal. Don't feel like you get any more grain coming out of the auger if you speed it up any faster than that. So to ease wear and tear on the auger, I would like to keep it about there. How often does corn stalks puncture tires? We've never had a corn stalk actually puncture a tire, but it does do a lot to wear them down. So over time, they really do eat away your rubber. It's really nice out now. The wind's still blowing like crazy though. Thanks for watching, Steve. He's got that camera in there, so it always looks like he's just zoning out, which like worries me because he possibly could be. Like I was saying before, one of my fields, I don't think I talked about the other one, but one of my soybean fields averaged 42. The other was 67, I think. So overall, my average was still 58. So anything above 55, I'm good with. It's just unfortunate that I had the issues that I did with that other field. The agronomist thinks that subsoiling would really help, so I've been kind of mulling over, looking around for a subsoiler. Because if we're going to do it, now's the time. And that would be a job or something we could put the 82 on to go do when we get the free time. Since it does have auto steer, I feel like that would help a lot too with kind of speeding things up. I feel like that's a good load. Dad's up there, let's go follow him. This is the one farm where it's like, I feel the need for speed, because we can harvest literally as fast as we can keep it away from the combine, which is very easy to do here. I'm sure Dad could actually be running faster, but I feel like what he's doing is pretty good. I think he's running about 3 miles an hour. Who's the prankster of the family? Prankster. I don't know. Maybe me? Solar makes no sense in the northern hemisphere. The same solar panel installed in Nevada has much higher annual output. I guess it's about subsidies. It really is. So they went through and mowed all the fields off. They're doing a lot of dirt work. I'm actually very looking forward to them being done putting up the solar panels, because Travis and Dad were they're in the gator running around the farm here one day, and they've been doing a lot of stuff on the other side of the fence, driving around. The solar people have been. They've been doing a lot of, putting up fences and whatnot on the other side of the ground, or just on the other side of the farm here, right where I'm looking. And Dad and Travis were out running around the farm and found a fresh beer bottle thrown into our field. So, plus these guys that are doing the work here, they're from Ryan. They're always down at the bar, and you know, and don't really care. Kind of ticked us off when we saw that they were littering. So it wasn't in a spot where someone could just throw it from the road. There you go, folks. What would be your next farming upgrade? I say this now, but who knows? It's in a constant state of flux until it actually happens, but possibly getting a subsoiler. Something that I'm looking at doing. Do I want to? No. If I buy a subsoiler, even like a 5-shank, like that Unverfurt that we had, that probably lasts us our lifetimes. Thanks, Trader Joe's. What kind of folder do we have? It's a ram mount on top of our weird little doohickey for mounting monitors and stuff on. It's pretty nice up there. If you get into a rhythm of what you're doing, you can put your phone up there and start watching Netflix. Like right now, if I wasn't live streaming, I'd probably put up Netflix. I got my earbuds that are noise canceling, so they cancel everything out. As long as you're focusing on what you're doing, you're just fine. Can I come deer hunting there? I'm not going to tell you no, but a lot of our ground is stout. So, any auctions coming up in your area? Not that we're planning on going to. No time. Until we're done with harvest, that's pretty much our only concern. That and mulching. I'd really love to get some more mulching done. I was supposed to have a mulching video up on Friday, but I couldn't get the bolts out of the mulcher. So I actually did just get them out earlier today before we started harvesting. So that video will probably be up either Wednesday, possibly Friday. We'll see. What's the temp there? Last I checked, it was 33. But it is getting colder. I just opened the door and it's a lot colder. Where'd he go? I don't know. Thanks, Old Timer Dave. Hope everything's going good with you too. If you were getting a tractor, what would it be? I would love like a 7430. It's like prime tractor for me, or like a 7530, but I don't know. Before I bought the mulcher, I was looking at a tractor. There's a bank that was doing 1.99% interest on ag loans, and I was looking at that going, ooh, like right now, 6%. Hey, it's one of them Ryan trucks. Um, 6% is pretty normal right now for any kind of ag loan or anything. And there's a bank that was just getting into the ag stuff, so they were giving out 1.99% loans, but they only had like a set amount of money set aside for it. Oh, he's full. What? I'm gonna wait here because he's coming at me, and he doesn't have the auger out yet. So talk less, Ryan. I really like those beacons. It really helps establish that, hey, there is indeed a huge amount of corn in the hopper. All right. Yep, auger's out. I'm coming towards them. This farm is in Rockville. A little closer. All right, you guys are once again getting the phone mount treatment. There we go. No offense. Why are we going so slow? Man, it's a beautiful night out. At the end of the road now, so we're gonna stop real shortly here. There it is. All right. So this head does have the header height sensors on it, which are those little green rods you see sticking down there. Really help with keeping the head the appropriate distance off the ground. Super duper nice. Now Travis should be coming up to me right about now. Okay, let me try that again. Right now. Nope. And he's off. I'm not totally sure how late he plans on working tonight. He worked last night. He works night shift, so I imagine Dad's probably feeling pretty tired, which is understandable. I don't know. I can see us quitting when the sun goes down, which we give it another 30 minutes, and I think we'd just about be there. Or maybe we're there right now. I don't know. I think he just... I'm not sure if he was picking noses or if he was doing things. All right. Oh, yeah. Like a good brother, Travis is there. There he is. Greetings from Wisconsin. It's really nice. It's a nice view. So there's a way for me to highlight save to your channel as unlisted video. What? Okay. Really wish I could take a picture with my phone right now. This would look great on Snapchat. Happy birthday, Spark Jet. How hard was it to change the gearbox on that cart? It was actually, you'd have to ask Travis that, because he's the one who crawled up underneath and pretty much had it off by the time I got back. To me, it doesn't really seem like it was that bad. We didn't get anywhere with taking it out because the shaft that went up into the auger did not want to move until we heated it up. I stuck an ice bar up underneath it and sat on it, and we had to sit and shake. Dad had a bar on the other side. We put all of our weight on it and just kept like bouncing on it as Travis heated it, and eventually it popped loose. It went out very, 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 very slowly. So as long as it goes in easier, it'll be better. But I mean, it's accessible. It's underneath the grain cart. All you got to do is crawl up underneath, and it's right there. You don't got to maneuver around anything. When are you gonna do some brush mowing for me? Are you gonna do some brush mowing for me? You want some brush mowing done? Well, I am doing custom mulching, so I got a guy who comes up who wants me to go up and do 4 days worth for him. But we'll see where we are after harvest. I gotta start focusing again, so sorry. There we go. It's the lip bite for me. It's like super hard to focus on what I'm doing while trying to maintain the camera nice and steady. Grain cart's pretty much empty. I think those short passes really slowed Dad down to where Travis is able to catch up. Oh, it is empty. Imagine that. Cool. I don't know what Dad's thinking, if he decided to quit or what. I mean, the sun's pretty much gone. Probably got, I don't know, 30 minutes worth of good light yet. It's clouds that are really screwing us here. I don't know where Dad went. If he went back to the buildings or what. That's a Kodak moment right there. Nope, still going. I am all right with that. What brand of corn do you use? We've used mostly DeKalb. There's a lot of what I like to plant. LG. Oh, dude, I would love a 7930. You don't even freaking know, man. How much are we getting per acre? When we first started, it was hitting 220. Actually, it wasn't hitting 220. The average was 230. It was hitting like 270. But I don't know what it is right now. Imagine with the field edges, it's going to be lower. How you get this stream ag idea? How did I get the stream ag? Like, just like how did, like, filming agriculture? Is that what you mean? Sorry, I'm kind of confused. Because I make videos on YouTube. That's kind of like my big thing. I don't really live stream quite as much. I'd like to do it more. I always say that whenever I live stream. It's a great opportunity to answer people's questions. It's a lot easier doing it on a live stream than going back and on all of my past videos. You aren't kidding, you just got to take some screenshots when you go archive this on your computer, right? We're gonna slow her down a little bit. Man, this is pretty new for many farmers. How did I get the idea to like start filming what we're doing? Back in 2012, I was in college. I was sitting in the computer lab at UW-Platteville, and since I was in middle school, I loved cameras. Travis brought a camera home when I was in middle school from photography class, and I saw it, loved it, played with it, thought it was awesome. Fell in love with photography. Started my own photography business straight out of high school. Used that to get me through college, but my first year of college was 2011. This was in 2012. Sitting in the computer lab and was wondering about what I was going to do after I graduated college, because we didn't know we were getting the farms at the time. Decided, or sitting there trying to think of things that I could do. Was thinking that, that I was going to go for agronomy, ag business. I was going for ag business, but what I was going to do after college, wasn't sure. Wanted to work on the farm, but again, wasn't totally sure if we were going to get the farms. Didn't know when that was going to happen, so I thought, you know what? Should I take that back? How it happened was, I was sitting on YouTube watching videos, and I looked up farm content to see what was on there, and there just wasn't anything on YouTube at the time when it came to farm material. I mean, there was a couple channels on there that were doing some stuff. Wes was actually the first channel that I know of where he actually started vlogging regularly, and he was doing it at the time. I don't even know how many views he was getting. It wasn't that many, but it was enough. I mean, for me, 200 views was a lot at the time, and so you know what, I could go film what we're doing at the farm, and I'm into cameras and I love photography, so I did it. Just started kind of talking about like things around the farm, talking about how stuff worked. We were in dairy, so there was a lot of farm machinery like in the barn and stuff that just totally fascinates me to this day. So I showed a lot of that, how harvesters and how silos work, showed what the top of a silo looks like, because to this day, it still kind of amazes me how all that stuff works. Started posting, once a month when I was in college. Started posting twice a month eventually, and just kind of gradually kept increasing how much I was posting until 2015 was when I graduated college. In May, I started publishing videos 3 times a week, and that's when my channel exploded. I started getting a lot more views then, and over time it just kind of accumulated. My thought process when I first posted those videos was, I had posted in 2008 3 really crappy videos of me we were chopping silage. We were just chopping hay out here in this big patch on this farm. It was like a 45-second clip, worst thing in the world. It was mostly pixels, and like I said, by 2012 I was sitting in the computer lab and I was looking at my channel at those videos, and they had gotten, how much was it? It was like 14,000 views in 4 years, and that was huge to me. I was totally taken away by it. I'm like, whoa, 14,000 people have seen these videos? I'm like, well, maybe if I post more frequently, I'll be able to, get more views. So that's just what I started doing. I just started posting once a month and went on from there. And never thought that I would be doing it 10 years later. This is the 10-year anniversary of me opening my channel and calling it Farmers Work. My original channel which is Ryan Fun 1, dates back to like 2007, I think, or 2008. It says it on my channel. But yeah, that's the fun little story of how farms work. It started off as more like tutorials and like how to drive tractors and just showing stuff around the farm. But over time, it's become more of a vlog, mostly because there's only so many ways you can show how to drive a tractor, But I show more in depth how we do things. Like, I can tell you guys, how we're doing stuff. That, like right now, as far as like getting stuff into the bin, but that's just for this farm. If we go out to Travis's place, it totally depends on how much corn is in the bin here. You know, if it's still drying, we might do what we're doing here, but down at Travis's place. So Travis will take the wagon and the tractor down to his place, and I'll load them up in the buildings, and then he'll drive on the road back up here and dump it in the bin. That's what we do a lot of years. It just kind of depends on how the corn yields. And other fields will totally bypass the bins once they're full and just load straight into the truck. So there's every harvest is always different. That's one common question I got asked whenever people would ask me, like, how do you get ideas for your YouTube channel? It's like, I literally just post what we're doing, every week, and every day of every week. There's not a whole lot of like finding ideas about it. Other things that I come up with, like the Roomba and the grain bin idea, yeah, those come up less frequently, but those are totally, quirky little cool ideas that I love. I love doing stuff like that. But yeah, sorry. Again, went off on a tangent. You guys asked me these complicated questions that require a huge backstory. Here we are. Thanks, Current Choices. It amazes me how little posted on the passing of Andy Detweiler. I think I've only seen 3 videos about it. Oh no, dude, I've seen a lot of stuff about the passing of Andy. I didn't talk about it on my channel because I didn't know how he would feel about it. I'm sure he wouldn't care, honestly. It's really sad that he passed. The day I met Andy, he came up to me at NFMS with some really quirky jokes, but it was totally memorable. He was just cracking like 3 or 4 jokes at a time about about his arms. I mean, he was being totally lighthearted about it, and I thought that was awesome. But definitely made an impression, and I know the pictures out there of us, whichever show it was. It's been a couple of years now, but I've seen a lot of people post about it. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I've thought about that, like, if something were to happen to me, I would want someone to like say something, It's like I just didn't quit posting cold turkey one day, but I don't know. I guess it kind of depends on how it would happen. It depends. I don't know. I feel like I'm back and forth on the subject. Sometimes it's just like, it's like, let them keep guessing, make them think I'm, I moved to the Caribbean or something. Have you had to repair much equipment this year so far? A lot of sensor issues. Have we had to repair a lot of stuff? Well, the grain cart is torn apart right now with the gearbox that was out of it. We just got the new one in, which is a reman gearbox, but that needs to get put in. I don't feel like we've had a lot of breakdowns. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like it's held us back at all because it's all been in soybeans. So far, we just started corn and combines running awesome, head running just fine. There was some clanking. We changed out the chain rolls. We put chain rolls in it that shred up the stalk, and there was some clanking going on. Not totally sure if that's gone away yet, but we crawled up underneath, couldn't see that any of them were making contact. We're like, we'll run it for a day and double check on it to see how things look. And it actually looked like 2 different rows completely. Traps his back, and I don't even have a load on for him. Shame. How's it going, Adam? Things are going pretty good. My phone's gonna die here soon. Hopefully he goes and sits on the end of the strip, so I can keep talking to you guys. Do we stock chop? Yes, we do chop our stalks with a brush mower. Do we do it everywhere? No. But please do a video with your dad and Travis about your farming history. It's a good idea. It's something that I've meant to do. Just never had the time or thought of it at the right time, I guess. I've thought about it when I've been laying in bed going, what, I should like sit them down and ask them or talk about like even like Dad's start with Grandpa. That'd be interesting to make a video on. Do you always make a profit? Some YouTube farmers have been saying running losses the last couple years. Making a profit on what? Like on the farm side of it? I think I always say that I'm paper poor as far as like the farming side of it. So I mean, I've had a loss actually 2 years in a row a couple years ago, but would I say that, you know, not making money doing it? No. That just kind of comes from the whole paper poor. If I can continue living off what I need to live, and then use the rest to invest into equipment or other investments that'll make money, I think that's the proper way to go about it. Kind of like with the duplex that we bought, I feel like that's a good side income. Doesn't require a lot of attention. I don't know. I could talk about some things with that, but so far the tenants, there's been some issues that have come up, but my tenants have been really good over at the duplex, and that's making me good money. The mulcher, I bought that because, you know, I thought I could possibly go custom mulch for people if in the off season and whatnot. I did a little bit of that with the brush mowing, so I liked it and really wouldn't mind doing more of it. And I had quite a few people interested in me going and mulching for them. But we'll see what happens, or what becomes of that, I should say. Any Amish nearby? Too many. You never see them going down the highway here, but if you go up to Burton on any of our other farms up there, you're guaranteed to find an Amish. And to be honest, I've almost taken them out multiple times with the truck around some blind corners, and it's not because I'm going too fast, it's just because they go so slow and they come around the corner like nothing else. I mean, I've had to make a decision where it's like, okay, either slam on the brakes or cross over this double yellow on this blind curve and go around them. So there we go. It's a Kodak moment right there, folks. Saving this one for later? Oh yeah, that's the ticket. I'm sorry, what were we doing? Oh yeah. Right. Let's go. All right. Do you have retirement accounts or not about that? Yeah, the funny thing about retirement accounts, it seems like every time I put money into like stocks and whatnot, another investment comes up where it's like, hey, I'd rather do that, you know? But I do have what I'd call an investment account. What it is, I won't say much about it, but yeah, I mean, I've got money put away, so it's not like I'm living on the fringe. It's 30 cents in corn right there. To be honest, I don't totally believe in like Roth IRAs or anything like that. I'd rather invest myself. The nice thing about those is like it's kind of hard to pull money out of them. Whereas I don't know, I like being able to choose what I invest in. I guess that's a matter of personal preference. We're located in Wisconsin, southwestern part of the state, Grant County. How much more acres would you have if you seed down all the waterways? I mean, there's some fields with 15 acres worth of waterways in it, so quite a few. There'll be a farm day next year. I know Hannah's trying to convince me to do one. The reason we didn't do one this year was because of the wedding. I felt like that was enough stress and enough worry. I'll think about it more going into this winter. But the years where we've done hay down at the valley, it's extremely hard to try to do something like that, because like with this year, we pretty much were making hay all June long. But I guess I could do it in August, like we have done in the past. Seems like things do slow down for a little bit there. I don't know. I'd like to do another farm day again. It was the ones that we've had were a lot of fun, meeting people. Phone's at 10%. All right. Sun's going down. I have to turn on the lights here soon. It's not going to be me first though. Do you still have your photography business? I quit doing photography a couple of years ago. Not because I didn't want to do it, it's just I didn't have the time. Like wedding photos, I'd go take pictures on Saturday, work all of Sunday, and then some usually to like edit the pictures and whatnot. Then I don't know, I just feel like it wasn't totally worth it. I should have been charging more, but for the job that I did, I don't really feel like, at that time, I don't feel like what a lot of people were charging was fair. I feel like a lot of people overcharged. I'd probably charged twice of what I did then. But even like for senior photos, I mean, I've done a couple shoots here and there. Wouldn't mind it, but again, just kind of boils down to time. I've learned to become very picky of like what I spend time doing, since I have so little of it. I mean, when I post 3 times a week, that's 3 nights easily that are gone. I mean, sometimes I work on a video 2 nights in a row to get it made, and that leaves me with 4 days out of the week, 4 nights out of the week where I can't actually go out and do stuff, because considering I do work on the farm at least 6 days, if not 7. Ooh, that's pretty. Tell you what, sunsets never get old. Do you still have the old combine? No, we traded it. We should go hop in with him. Need to get ahead. Ooh. My phone's at 10%, so no promises on how long this is going to last. Let's see if we can hop in. You too, Felix. Live streaming, just a heads up. So I'm live streaming. Moisture's gone up. What year did you start farming with Grandpa?
81.
81? Yep. What year did you get married? Mom.
1981.
I feel like there's probably some kind of trade going on there.
Yeah.
Do y'all ever get into disagreements about being on YouTube? Not that I know of.
Nope.
They were all supportive of it, Timothy. Someone must have donated a couple bucks. Thanks, whoever it was. I've somehow missed that. Someone wants to know what you thought of YouTube when I started doing it.
That's exactly what I thought.
I don't think any of us really took it seriously. It was just kind of a big joke at the time, and there were some people that got upset, some family members, I should say, that got upset by me doing it, and that was just kind of the stoke in the fire that was like, I'm gonna probably keep doing this. But hey, they were probably some of my more dedicated fans, so gotta hand it to them. Moisture's 19.4, average is 214. How do you like the 12-row over the 6-row?
Love it. A lot of hip hanging out to watch still.
Yeah. Someone asked just a couple minutes ago about why he wasn't taking the full width of the head, and this is a situation where he's not going to be taking a full width of the head, because just because there aren't rows here doesn't mean there aren't rows up there. Moisture will vary depending on the time of day. It's especially noticeable in soybeans. I don't really listen to podcasts all that much. I don't really care for them. Haven't found one I like, I guess. I do listen to like audiobooks though, occasionally. We are done with soybeans for the year. Did you think you'd still be milking cows right now? when you started farming?
There's no way. I don't like milking cows.
Do you remember where you saw yourself in 50 years ago?
No, not really.
No. Yeah, we've had a hard frost. This is a farm where we need to make a few adjustments for the larger head, Brandon. Getting to certain strips. Corner's kind of tricky. This might be one of those areas. Right on the corner of the field. Hey, Griffin. Grandpa was around, what would you be doing today? Milking it? Probably.
Yep.
Scary, isn't it?
Well, that'd be his idea anyway.
Yeah. Do we miss brushes on the gathering chains? I feel like it does just fine without them. Problem is they get wore so fast. If we got a S-Series combine, would we keep the new combine as well? No. I feel like that would have been a more prevalent question when we went from 6 rows to 12. A lot of people were wondering if we were going to keep the 9510, and it just doesn't make any sense to keep it around. We don't have enough people to run 2 combines. And then he had to stop. Nope. It's kind of weird how it hangs up on that row like that. Morning glories. I can hop out and clean it off. There we go. Just like that. It's the morning glories. These things used to be a pain in the rear when we had the 6620 because it get wrapped up on the inside. It's like really packed down in there. Let's try it. try it. Doing it again. Something's going on. Well, there it went. phone's about to die, so this stream is pretty much called to a wrap. There's the breeze. There we go. This is a tough spot because there's not a lot of turning space. Might knock over a few stalks getting into the row.